Alright, hey you guys, it's TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Nanatsu no Taizai, episode 19, The Fairy King Waiting in Vain. And this episode, I just honestly did not know how to feel about this episode. So many things were explained, which was awesome, but it was sad, like I teared up a little bit at some points. But this episode was actually pretty freaking awesome, if I do say so myself. Like, I don't know where to begin. Well, I mean, of course, I'm gonna begin at the beginning, but this episode picks up where the last one left off at, where we see King. He was about to confront Helbram, and we see like King. He put the little like healing aura around Deanne and Zeal, Gula, and Hauser. And Hauser was like, I feel warm, and it started healing them. So the sacred tree, the power from the sacred tree heals. Well, the power of the sacred tree is pretty much to heal itself. Like if damage were to come to it, it could heal itself. And he channels that power into his chestal, so that way he can heal other people that's within the orb of protection, is what I'm going to call it. So yeah, he was able to heal Deanne and Eula, Zeal, and Hauser while he was fighting Helbram. And we see like they do like a little flashback of um, King, like when they first showed the man like slice his stomach and he fell by the riverside. And it turns out that Deanne was the one who saved him. So we got to see little baby Deanne before she got all big and curvaceous. And she saved him. She was helping him get better. He couldn't remember anything, but she knew his name. She called him Harley Quinn, which is his name. So um, they pretty much lived together for 500 years, like over the span of 500 years. And like Deanne was taking care of him and helping him, and then Deanne got sick and King was going to help her, but first like she got some food from a human and King was like, don't trust humans, blah blah blah. So then we see when Deanne got sick, the same man came back, but he had grown older. Like he lost all his hair, well, most of his hair, and he was like older now. So King didn't realize that time was passing so quickly for humans, as opposed to him, it doesn't feel like that long. So then the man helped him, and Deanne got better. And then they were like playing around, and they stumbled upon a village. Well, first, Deanne was chasing King, and her clothes got stuck on a branch, and she was completely nude. And King looked like he was about to just come all over himself. It was pretty funny. King is he's very, I don't know how to. He's he's easily embarrassed. So he made some clothes for Deanne, and he made the orange jumpsuit that she always wears now. Her jumpsuit and her boots and everything. So, and that was when she first started wearing her pigtails. So Deanne finally got into her, what we know as her attire. So, and then they also show that King made his outfit, and he learned this from watching humans, even though he would swear up and down, and he always told Helbram not to trust humans and blah blah blah. So he actually learned that from watching a human. So they show like um, King, he continues to live with Deanne, and they go to the village, and in the village we see the man, and they were like, oh, you have kids now, blah blah blah. And he was like, no, that was actually my grandfather. So they missed like 2 whole generations. Like the man passed away, he had children. Well, he had children, and his children had children. So they missed like a whole generation in the amount of time that they were away, which is crazy if you think about it, that much time passed for King to not even realize that these humans passed away. Like the man that helped them on 2 occasions has passed away already, and they didn't even know. So they continue like living in the forest, and King continuously starts regaining his memories because he had lost his memory when he was fighting that man. Well, when the man sliced him. So then one night they heard some like banging, and they saw fire and stuff, and it was right before then that he remembered like Elaine and leaving to go after Helbrim because Helbrim had left the sacred tree, and they go to the village and everybody's killed. Like everybody's just like laid out on the ground, and it turns out that the man that sliced his stomach was not Helbrim. Like it turns out that the man that killed all the fairies first off, like and almost killed King, was not Helbrim. It was another man, and Helbrim saw this and he snuck up on the man and killed him. So now he takes the form of that man so he can remember his hatred towards humans. And for 500 years he has been killing people like left and right. And that is why he killed this village, because he has been killing humans for 500 years at that point in time. So I guess King, well, he remembered Helbrim always told him, because he wanted to be able to be friends with humans and he wanted to be able to learn things from them. And King was like, you shouldn't trust them because eventually it's going to end up as a bad time. And Helbrim was like, well, if it ever comes to that point, I want you to stop me. And then he called him his best friend and flew away. So King killed him with a rose. That was the most elegant, epic kill I've ever seen in my life. Like he literally just threw a rose like a dart and it went through his heart. So at that point I thought that he was dead. I was like, wait a minute, how did he kill him but he's still alive now? They never explained that. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But after that point, well, right before he went to the village, before all that stuff happened, he told Deanne that he was going to come back. He was definitely going to return to her. But after all of that happened, King got put into jail to atone for Helbrim's sins. And King, he was like, because he's the fairy king, it was his fault for not doing something about Helbrim killing all these people, or that one fairy killing all those people. So King went to jail, which is where I believe he met Meliodas. And then we see like Deanne, little baby Deanne, because King had knocked her out at one point with a flower, with a daisy, and she found it when she woke up and she put it in her hair. And it's just like, oh, that's so precious. But after that, they show the fight between Helbrim and King, and the fight was actually pretty awesome. Like neither one of them actually fought. They literally were just swinging their swords around with their powers, which I actually thought was pretty interesting. So King was just like one-upping Helbrim. Helbrim, he was just so angry that it was odd. So at one point King was like, I'm gonna put you to rest, blah blah blah, and he kills Helbrim. Well, Helbrim, he like takes a major hit. It looks like he hit one of his arteries and he fell to the ground. And King was like, well, Helbrim was reaching out for his helmet and he was like, I was such an idiot. And he was like, I want you to have my helmet. I wanted it to be a present for you. I figured you would like it. And he was like, but I'm such an idiot because even after all this time, I realized that I didn't have much fashion sense or something like that. And King was crying and it was really sad. So I think this time, finally, Helbrim is actually dead at this point. So after that, we see, because at one point Helbrim called him Harley Quinn again, and Deanne heard this and she was like, Harley Quinn. So she's like, the name sounds very nostalgic, and she's like, it's almost like a dream. And King's like, yeah, it's just a dream, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. So I don't know if the flower where he stabbed her made her forget about all the stuff that happened between them. I don't know, because it sounds like she doesn't really remember the name Harley Quinn. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. So after that, we see like Hauser talking to King. He was like, y'all, the more I think about it, the more I come to the conclusion that you guys never wanted to overthrow the kingdom. So why are you in the kingdom? And it was like, because Elizabeth got kidnapped and we came to save her. And Hauser's like, she's in the kingdom now? And then we see Hendrickson and Arthur fighting, and their fight looks so freaking epic. Like Arthur wasn't even trying. I really want to see him go all out, and I highly doubt we will actually ever see him go all out, because even Hendrickson said that his intellect and his power is immeasurable. So for Hendrickson to say that is a little intimidating, but Hendrickson kept wanting Arthur to fight him, and he was hitting him around, and Arthur was like, well, force my hand. So Hendrickson used a dark magic called Hellblaze something, Hellblaze Flame, something like that. And Meliodas, like, he was about to kill Arthur, and Meliodas countered it, and Hendrickson was like, you countered my attack. And then Meliodas came up and he was like, you learned a new dark magic while I've been away, blah blah blah. So it looks like it is about to go down because Meliodas is awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm so looking forward to next week's episode. I want to see how this fight turns out. Maybe Meliodas and Arthur will fight Hendrickson. That would be so freaking awesome. I'd be so happy. I fangirl a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to cut this review shorter because it's running on 11 minutes now. So yeah, so as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? And if anybody can tell me if it's Deanne has forgotten about King as Harley Quinn, or if she's just like out of it because she's hurt, I don't know. But yeah, so as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.